Not sure how to keep productive during this lockdown? Well, during this video, you're gonna learn some key steps to make you super productive, even if it is lockdown, and you're gonna feel like it's the best decision that you've made in terms of your life so far. Okay, that's a bold statement, but anyway, I'll show you some tips. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Michael Tabaradi, coach and mentor, and I help self-starters and ambitious professional millennials increase their productivity, enhance their performance, realize their priorities, and live their life on purpose. Now, if this is the first time you've come to my YouTube channel, make sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe, and you can check out all the links via the description below. Now, let's get to the video. Now, obviously, we've entered into a new year and it's been a crazy 2020, but effectively, I've been in a position where I've been able to get more clients and they've been utilizing these strategies in order to enhance and increase their productivity. So I thought to myself, why not share these tactics with you guys in order for you to be even more productive? Now, admittedly, you may know some of this stuff. However, it may serve as a good reminder and organize your thinking in such a way where you can be even more better when it comes to your performance. So let's get into the video. So the first thing I'd like to say is focus on having one key aim. Now, obviously with this one key aim, it could be money related, it could be health related, it could be relationship related. But with that one key aim, let's say for example, I want to make 100K as an example, you want to be able to break up that aim into objectives or key areas and quarters, months, weeks, and okay, maybe not day to day, but you have an idea of what you're doing day to day. Because I'm telling you, that level of organization and clarity will give you an understanding of what you need to be doing. So develop some sort of 12-month plan, okay? Develop that plan because many people who come to me say they feel confused, they feel a lack of clarity, etc., etc. And when they've gone through this exercise, lo and behold, clarity comes upon them. So develop some sort of primary aim that enables you to develop a good solid plan that you can work towards so you can achieve your money goals, your business goals, your career goals, your health goals, or whatever it is. So stick to writing a plan. The next thing I'll say is invest in a course. Now, you may pay for a really good premium course that you've been wanting to do for a long time, or maybe you want to do something on a lower scale using Udemy as an example, or some of these other sort of like online teaching platforms. But learn a new skill, it may be a language, it may be a business skill, maybe a marketing skill, it may be something for your career. Learn something that will benefit you and make you stronger, especially once we come out of this whole situation. So I think this is a prime time, a prime opportunity to learn something, develop that skill. You may even make money from it if you're going down that business angle, but this is a chance to develop those skills. Now, I'm not saying you have more time, but because you're probably looking at the same four walls all the time, there is a greater sense of having more time, so to speak. So utilize that greater sense of time to learn something new, develop your skills. The next thing I'd like to say is to make sure that you hone down your morning and night routine. Look, I'll be very clear with you. Again, many clients who come to me usually have problems with sleep, and that says something about their lifestyle and the choices that they make. And so having a good night routine and then a good morning routine sets you up for the day, because I've always said morning routines and night routines get you into a state of mind, and that state of mind gets you ready for the day. Now, I've spoken about morning and night routines, so you can check out my video on that already. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but the point is being made here that it creates that state of mind. And so you don't want to be sluggish. You don't want to feel like you have fatigue. That's definitely what happens during this whole sort of lockdown or quarantine situation. You want to be in a situation where you feel energized. So develop something that caters towards your needs, especially, with things that have been highlighted during this time. The next thing I'd like to say is start an expert business. So that could be a coaching or consulting or training business. So think about what skills you have, what you're passionate about, what opportunities are there in the market, and how can you align yourself, should I say, to actually go out there and provide help to people who have pains that they want solved. So let's say, for example, I help the average person improve their finances in order for them to enjoy their money more. That was quite lame, but you have an idea of what I'm helping people with. Okay, so think about how you help people. Also look at what other people are doing. Really detail that stuff out there. So what content are they providing? How frequently? What sort of offers do they have in play? What platforms are they using? What are people saying about their stuff? Can you capitalize on anything? This is a prime time to capitalize on stuff, especially because the online market is booming. Okay, so definitely get onto the sort of like bandwagon when it comes to that stuff. I'd also say if you're in a position to, make sure you create content or be part of conversations that enable you to be seen and provide value to other people. So this could be something like Instagram Live, this could be Clubhouse, this could be Facebook Lives, this could be TikTok. It doesn't really matter. You need to know where your audience is and what you're comfortable with. Okay, sometimes what you're comfortable with isn't always the best thing, but monitor and see where people are and use your strengths, utilize your opportunity to be out there and provide value. Before I continue, comment below and let me know the best productivity advice you have gotten during this time. Let's get back to the video. The next thing I'd like to say is learn how to cook properly. Okay, it sounds weird, but if you're one of those people who, have always wanted to learn how to cook something or bake something or whatever it is, this is the time to practice. Maybe there's an Italian cuisine that you want to learn. Maybe there's a West African dish that you want to master. So, maybe you ask your parents to help you. Maybe you check out stuff on YouTube or online, whatever it is, master the art of cooking during this time, because when you're, living in your own house, or if you're living in your own house already, then it's an opportunity to show off to your partner, to your friends, have date night, have social time, whatever it is. Master the art of cooking really well, because it's just a bonus point. Do you know what I mean? Who doesn't want to know how to? Well, actually, I'm not going to say that because there's some people who don't want to know how to cook. Anyway, let's move on very swiftly. P.S. If you want a really, really nice red velvet cake, come to me. It tastes like hummingbird, trust me. Anyway, let's move on swiftly. The next thing to think about is to redo your house. There are so many annoying things to get done in your house, and maybe the curtains, maybe the walls, maybe the floor, maybe the kitchen. But this is the time to get it done. I'm telling you, because whenever in history have you had this time to be in your house so much? You notice things, okay? So maybe you want to get inspiration from things like Pinterest or Instagram. Pin stuff on your wall, on your boards, or whatever it is. Get sort of like cultivated with the sort of mindset and literally go out and buy the stuff, get someone to help you or do it yourself. I was speaking to my friend, I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago, and she was saying how she was embarrassed, okay, at the way she was living. And it's true, so many of us are living in conditions where we're like, we'll do that when we get our next house or whatever it is. But why not do it now? If you're thinking about strategically, you're upping the value of that property anyway if you're looking to sell it. So redo your house, don't be lazy, learn the new skills, and I promise you, it will do you a ton of good. Because again, I did my bedroom as an example. I did this probably about 6 or 7 months ago, and my mind feels fresh. Okay, I'm able to shoot YouTube videos and have a plant and all that kind of stuff. So get into the mindset of doing your house, because it just changes the vibe, the mindset, and the way you do things as well. The next thing I'd like to say to you is to make sure that your finances are on point. So do your due diligence and understand how much money you spend, what your expenses are looking like, where does your income come from. You may want to use something like Money Dashboard. I've actually done a video on finances, so make sure to check it out. It's a really, really in-depth video, so you don't want to miss that one. Whether you feel like the pandemic has made your situation worse or not, it really comes down to your habits and behaviors that you really had before this whole situation. Now, that's not true for everyone, but for many people it is true. And so this is the time to monitor your behaviors using something like Money Dashboard and understanding your buying patterns, and then putting in budgets in place, putting in saving mechanisms in place to promote you winning in the financial game. Okay, so understand your finances. Maybe you want to understand how you can actually grow your money during this time through investing or something like that, but don't get head over heels. Like, focus on personal budgeting first and savings first, and how you can better manage your money, because I promise you it will be better for you. Okay, so that's the task for you to do as well. Another thing that I want to say that most people want to do but never do is consistent exercise. I'm one of those people as well, okay? But if you're using something like a habit tracker or Notion or whatever it is, you want to stick to doing X amount of minutes per day on exercise. It could be 7 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be half an hour. Whatever it is, commit to exercise. How do you do this? You monitor your progress. This could be X amount of press-ups. You could be monitoring progress on your watch as an example. So I actually bought this watch to make sure I can track my steps. You may want to track your sleep as an example, your heart rate. Just get to a point of understanding how your body works, because if you don't do that, you could be in a position where you're actually getting worse in terms of your health and you don't really understand or know it. I mean, one way to do this is maybe get a personal trainer. This could be in person if, protocol allows you to do that, or this could be virtually. You could join an online class. I know there are Instagram pages where people actually exercise for free. So these are things you can try out and really make sure you're getting your body at least, not necessarily in peak performance, okay, but at least working well. So when we do have this whole pandemic over, we don't go outside and we're like, oh gosh, my Achilles heel, oh, you know, you're breaking all these toes and everything else like I've been doing. So you want to make sure your body is supple. That aligns obviously with food as well. That aligns nicely with the cooking thing. So get to a point of exercise and making your body supple as well. So there you have it. They're the main things that you need to be focusing on this quarantine, this lockdown, in order to make sure that you're productive and you're not losing your mind. And I promise you, like, if you stick to this stuff and you do this stuff well, you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel like, actually, this was time well spent. There was no other time in history where I could have done this, and you're doing it right now. So stick to doing that stuff. And if you want the tactics and the strategies to make sure that you stick to these habits and you're super productive, I've got a 10-page guide. I said that so weird. I've got a 10-page guide that you can download below. So make sure to click on the link in order to receive that information. If you're an entrepreneur and you'll think to yourself, how do I stay productive? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of the next video where I'm going to talk about just that very topic. Anyway, take care, God bless, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.